This is Anna from Inkspiller here, and this is part of our little series on how to run creative workshops. And this is really for people who run their own companies and want to kind of get their team's input on how they should be communicating and on their strategy and brainstorming their brand. But it's also for creatives who might need some ideas on how to kind of help clients communicate better, and certainly in terms of building a standout brand. I've done two other of these videos. One's on how to run a brand workshop and how to run a brand archetypes workshop. And this one is how to run a brand values workshop. Now, brand values have probably quite a bad reputation, I'd say. Typically, if you work for a company, you're told these are the values. You've got no idea where they come from. They can seem a bit random. You know, honesty as a value, for example, seems a bit weird one. Surely that's just something everyone should, why wouldn't you have honesty as a value? Yeah, values are a bit of a minefield, and especially when they come from the top down. Now, one of the hats I wear is working with organisational identity consultancy Belief. And as part of the Belief programme, we run these incredible values workshops, and we run them with a cross section of people from across an entire company. And the idea of and the whole purpose of the Belief Values workshops is to how can we codify what makes our company special, and how can we make sure that whoever we hire is a really good cultural fit. So, the belief process is very, very long. It might take a few months, and by the end of it, you'll have a set of measurable, identifiable, authentic, shared behaviours that everybody at the company recognises and can look at and say, yes, that is us, and a set of almost instructions you could give to any new employee to say, this is how we do things around here. It's amazing. It's brilliant. Now, I'm not going to teach you how to do that on this workshop, but it's really full on, and you'll have to hire Belief for that. But what I will share with you is a very simple value exercise you can do just to start the process off and to start thinking about, well, what might our shared company's values be? And for this, I'm using a set of personal values which was developed, I think it's the University of Mexico. I may have got that wrong. I'll add a worksheet which I've developed to this post, and it will credit them in that, so don't worry. And these are values which are universal values everyone holds. And what you can do is you can print out that worksheet, and if you have a very small business, you probably just want to print out the sheet and then discuss with your colleagues, go through and decide split those values into important, not important, slightly important, and not important. So it's a very simple exercise, and as you're doing it, you can then, the reason I haven't really explained why it's important. So it's important to develop a strong culture, to understand what your shared values are. B, actually, it's also great for sales because we all are drawn to people that share the same values as us. There's a great book called Don't Think of an Elephant by George Lakoff, and he has some incredible case studies of how even when you show people that the politicians they're voting for are actually going to bring in measures that will make their lives worse, they will still vote for them if they see that they share the same values. And that's how powerful they are. So not only is it a great idea to understand what your company's values are from a cultural point of view, so you know that you are going to hire the right people, and also you are going to make the right decisions. It's also great to make sure you're expressing those values in all you do, so that you're attracting the right customers, and and it just helps your sales be a lot easier. But it also helps you make decisions. So if you know what your core values are, you can map every potential project, every potential new product you might develop to see whether it matches your values or not. So to give you an example of that, one of my core values is cooperation. Yes, it's very cheesy, I know that. Collaboration, but I only want to work with clients that I can collaborate with. So if a client's going to say to me, right, you just go away and write for us, we don't really care what you say, just write something, that's not the right client for me. I want to work with people who I can work with peer to peer. We can create something together because they understand their business way better than I ever will. Yeah, it's a really important value to me, and it's also why I work with a lot of other creative agencies because so little aside there. So anyhow, I will give detailed instructions on how to run this exercise below this post, but it's very similar. It's like any sort of card sorting exercise. You want to sort the values, go through the values and sort them into piles until you see a pile which have, the most important values to you. If a value is slightly important, you might want to bring that over. The main qualifier is for any of the values you choose, you should be able to back it up with evidence that you do hold that value, and that is something that you practice. You might even want to sense check it by saying, well, do we do anything currently that contradicts this value? And maybe you do, and maybe this is a great insight into where you can align things within your business. But if there's too much contradictory evidence, it's probably not the right value for you. There might be a better one, or there might be a slightly different one, and you can make up your own value. So if you're going to run this exercise with a client, the same principles apply. You might want to cut up the worksheet into cards and then put people into pairs. And I did a whole little video on how you do the pair and share exercise. So check that out, and that's how you would run this value exercise as well until you get to a consensus. But as I said, the most important thing is that what you end up with are values that are authentically you. And they're not top down. You bring a cross section of the company in to do this exercise, and so you genuinely see what makes you you. How what is it that informs the way you do things in your company. So I hope that was helpful. Any questions, give me a shout, and I will see you in the next video.